The Niger Delta region of Nigeria has long grappled with issues of marginalization, exploitation, and continuous impoverishment. However, recent developments have raised concerns about a perceived deliberate attempt by the federal government to push the region back into a dark era of armed conflicts and militancy. This documentary aims to shed light on these alarming circumstances and emphasize the urgent need for a different approach that promotes fairness, equity, and sustainable development. A history of sacrifices. The sacrifices made by individuals such as Adaka Buru and Ken Saro-Wiwa in their fight for the political and economic liberation of the Niger Delta, and later the unity of Nigeria, seem to have been in vain. These courageous figures, who stood up for the dignity, livelihoods, and environment of the Niger Delta people, tragically lost their lives under questionable assertions. The failure of the government to address their concerns illustrates a deep-rooted disdain for the region's equity and fairness. Marginalization and exclusion. The deliberate exclusion of Niger Delta local content and indigenous companies in the awarding of maintenance contracts within the oil and gas industry across the region further magnifies the government's disregard for fairness and equity. This continued exploitation and marginalization of the Niger Delta have severe repercussions not only for the region, but also for rural communities. It is imperative that all well-meaning citizens of Nigeria resist these injustices imposed by a handful of nepotistic, greedy, and corrupt individuals. Implications for national prosperity. The continuous impoverishment of the Niger Delta notably fails to improve the living standards of other regions and tribes but exacerbates poverty across the entire country. The suppression and neglect of the region prevent it from flourishing and hinder its potential contribution to Nigeria's overall development. It is time for systemic change that prioritizes inclusivity, shared prosperity, and equal opportunities for all. Dehumanizing practices and economic control. Reducing the stake of the Niger Delta in the oil and gas industry to mere security jobs undermines and devalues the region's potential. While individuals from the region struggle for security guard positions, nepotistic leaders conveniently award themselves and their associates prized oil blocks and maintenance contracts, monopolizing the industry and controlling the economy. This inequitable distribution of resources stifles the region's growth and perpetuates dependence on a few self-serving elites. The government must display its commitment to equity, fairness, and justice. Urgent action is necessary to prevent the further marginalization, exploitation, and impoverishment of the Niger Delta, as these issues have far-reaching consequences for both the region and the entire country.